is your presenter with the headlines.
In headlines, Dominica's electoral reform process has entered a new phase. A woman of St. Joseph in her early 70s picks up her earnings of over $800,000 from the Dominica National Lottery. In the news from the region, Bahamas signs on to Escazú Agreement. Internationally, NATO to propose upping members' defense spending to 5% in line with U.S. President Donald Trump's demands. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
And welcome back. First off, Dominica's electoral reform process has entered a new phase with the signing of a $3.4 million agreement with a company from Belgium. The agreement was signed today between the Electoral Commission and Simlex Company of Belgium for the provision of a voter identification system and software which will facilitate the process of confirmation. The confirmation period for Dominica is set to begin on September 1, 2025 to August 30th, 2026.
Simlex is a Belgian-based company that provides integrated identification solutions, including the development of secure registration systems and electoral management. With decades of experience, Simlex has supported numerous governments by delivering end-to-end solutions tailored to voters' registration needs, ensuring both security and inclusiveness. The electoral registration and confirmation system developed by Simlex is designed to ensure the integrity and inclusivity of the electoral process. It involves the deployment of mobile registration kits to reach remote and unserved populations, thereby promoting the voter empowerment. The system leverages facial recognition technology to detect and prevent duplication registrations and to provide the electoral office with an accurate electoral register. Additionally, it ensures that each eligible elector receives an elector's card, which serves as an official proof of registration and eligibility to vote.
Chief Election Officer Anthea Joseph. Chairman of the Electoral Commission Duncan Stowe says the agreement signed today is a bold step towards electoral reform.
Today is a significant day in the history of our nation as we are here to witness the official signing of what all of us, I'm sure, will agree is a landmark agreement. An agreement which marks a major step forward in the modernization of the electoral process here in Dominica. This agreement provides for the introduction of advanced hardware and software systems that will significantly enhance the administration and conduct of elections across the country. It represents a long-awaited development, the result of careful planning, consultation, dedication, and, of course, to the democratic process. While the implementation of this new system comes at a considerable financial cost, it is an essential and worthwhile investment, an investment in the strength, transparency, and integrity of our democracy. The true cost of the inaction would be far greater. The new system will bring critical improvements, particularly in the accuracy and the security of the electoral process. One of its key features is the creation and maintenance of a more reliable and up-to-date voters list. Only eligible voters will be included, and the technology will introduce robust mechanisms to prevent fraudulent voting practices.
Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Duncan Stowe. Simlex representative is Michael Leoff.
As you said, we are a Belgium company
together with a Dutch company, and we have huge experience in voter registration, voter confirmation of electoral confirmation. We've done that in many countries. Just giving one example, in Tanzania, where we had to register 27 million of electors. So it gives a little bit the ideas of the work that we've been doing in the past and our experience also. But we are here also to listen, to adapt, and to work hand in hand to building a solution that fits the needs on the ground. I want to thank the Electoral Commission for their confidence that they have placed in us, and we look forward to a fruitful cooperation.
Simlek representative Mikhail Leoff. Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre says a series of pre-budget consultations, which ended yesterday, will guide the contents of this year's budget. Dr. McIntyre says he's optimistic of the 2025-2026 package, seeing that it will be one that he labels as a people's budget.
We met the farmers, we met the agro-processors, we met the private sector, the DIC obviously was there, DHTA, Dominican Hotel and Tourism Association was there, Disabled Association was there, people from the Disabled Association. Yes, we met all the banks were there, the financial institutions were there, Aid Bank, NBD, the union, the credit unions, etc. So actually we met a very wide cross-section of the Dominican society. These consultations, what we do in these consultations, we want to get suggestions and recommendations from the people so that when we present a budget, it represents what the people have said. We take the notes, we go through it. We may not be able to introduce all of these measures in a particular budget year. However, many of them do get to the budget, and we consider all of them, they might come to the next budget, but many of them do come in the present budget. So it's really something to inform us, to guide us. It gives us an indication of what the people, their challenges, how do we address their challenges. So if you ask me, I think the consultation, it went very well. We got many good ideas, very, very positive, I must confess. And this year's budget will be a budget for everyone. That's what our government has been doing.
Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre. Digicel Dominica has announced Melissa Abbott as its new operations manager. In this role, Melissa will lead the organization and be responsible for the full day-to-day operations and general management of all departments within Digicel Dominica. Having joined Digicel 12 years ago, Melissa has left her mark across multiple countries and in various leadership roles. Most recently, she served as head of consumer sales and services at Digicel St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where she spearheaded initiatives in revenue growth, digital adoption, and cross-functional team development. Commenting on her appointment as operations manager, Melissa says, open quote, "I am proud to have the opportunity to lead the Digicel operations in Dominica. It's such a vibrant country, and I look forward to meeting and serving our customers all across Dominica, sharing our vision of connecting and empowering people no matter where they are," end quote. Melissa also played a pivotal leadership role during challenging moments, including the volcanic eruption in St. Vincent in 2021 and Hurricane Beryl in 2024, demonstrating resilience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to both people and performance. The Dominica Public Service Union wants the government negotiating team to review its latest offer of 8% salary increase for the years of 2024 to 2027. The government negotiating team is offering no salary increase for 2021 to 2024. General Secretary of the Public Service Union is Thomas Later.
And as you know, government's proposal is to pay salaries only for 24-27, 3%, 2%, and 3%, a total of 8%. That part of it was not accepted by the general membership, and the members felt that government need to do better than that. And the general feeling was, if we're looking at 21% salary increase, at least government should look at meeting half of that for the two triennium. So while public officers are prepared to forego an increase for the first triennium, the second triennium, which is 24-27, 24-25, 25-26, and 26-27, the decision or the opinion the consensus was that 8% salary need to be improved. The proposal of 8% need to be improved. In terms of the first year, 21-24, where no salary is being offered, and the government is using the argument of the classification and that some people have benefited as a result of the classification, their salaries have been adjusted. The general consensus was that public officers have contributed so much during the time of COVID, for example. They made a lot of sacrifice. Following the passage of Hurricane Maria, a lot of sacrifice were made. What the public officers are saying, what the members are saying, is that while they do not want to create any pressure on the Treasury, but at least some of the funds from the CBI should be used to pay a bonus to all public officers.
General Secretary of the Public Service Union, Thomas Later. The Environmental Health Department and Fresh Market have joined forces to observe World Food Safety Day, which is set for Saturday. Senior Environmental Health Officer Kalma Louis says it is important to meet shoppers at the supermarket today.
Today we are partnering with Fresh Market in recognition of World Food Safety Day, which will be held on Saturday. But today we wanted to be out to meet with the public, to interact with them, to give them tips and information on food safety. Our theme for this year's theme is food safety, science in action. So we decided that we're going to interact, and here we are at Fresh Market this morning. So we had tips on food safety. We had a spin the wheel. So if you spin the wheel, you will given a question to answer related to food safety. We interacted with the public as they come in. We'll give them the information on food. We have our model bar outside where we have our food handlers who are properly attired. And inside we have our little science booth. Our science booth will teach you the different pathogens related to foodborne illnesses. So, a number of things. And the reception has been very good so far because we were able to meet with the public. We were able to interact, answer questions related to food safety and give information. And if you look around, there are some QR codes that we put up in different areas that will give them more information.
Senior Environmental Health Officer Kalma Louis. Non-nationals who have obtained a work permit for Dominica are advised that this document should not be used as a travel document or as a national identification card. Acting Labour Commissioner Kelvin Packett made this statement during the Voice of Change program on DBS Radio this morning.
So it's not a document that you can use for traveling, because if you are coming to Dominica and you fall under the category where you would require a visa, then you would have to apply for that through the Ministry of National Security, who are now responsible for the processing of visas. So visa would enable you to come in. However, work permit is different. It is issued to you for you to work and reside in Dominica. That's it. To work and reside. It is not a substitute for immigration documents or a national ID. It is only used for facilitating New York.
Acting Labour Commissioner Kelvin Packett. A St. Joseph woman who picked up her earnings of $885,000 from the Dominica National Lotteries says she will continue to give to charity. Yvette Ruby John Baptist of St. Joseph, who lived in England over several years, became the largest jackpot winner in the Blast Mystery Progressive. She was presented with her earnings at Macmillan Gaming Center, where she won the jackpot.
The only thing that I'm afraid of is the negative publicity that I'm receiving. I didn't do anything wrong. I sat in front of a machine that nobody was on, and I don't know why would people hate me because I played and I won. It was my turn, and God gave it to me. And I intend to use it wisely for charity, because everybody from St. John knows that for the past 20 years we have been contributing. There's a foundation in my parents' name. But if you feel like playing, or you feel that you're lucky, and when you get at a crossroad, don't depend on your understanding, but rather ask God to help you, because I was at a crossroad and I didn't know what to put my hand on. And I asked the Holy Spirit to guide me, and the Holy Spirit did guide me. And thanks for all those who have supported me. and I'm grateful. I'm just grateful.
Yvette Ruby John Baptist of St. Joseph. Brand manager at the Dominica National Lottery is Aronia James.
The Blast Mystery Progressive Jackpot has been won a total of 4 times since our launch, which was late October 2024. And all 4 times have been women. For those of you who are here with us this afternoon, it has been won twice here at Macmillan Gaming, located in Castle Comfort. To our loyal players, we would like to let you know that Dominica National Lottery remains committed to delivering quality entertainment to the public and to all of Dominica. Thank you for your continued support, and let's keep the fun and excitement rolling with Blast Gaming. And finally, I would like to congratulate our winner, Mrs. Yvette Ruby John Baptist, who is our biggest BMP winner, winning $885,027.70.
Brand manager at the Dominica National Lottery, Aronia James, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
Often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
And welcome to the news from the region. Bahamas Prime Minister Philip Davis has announced the accession of Bahamas to the regional agreement in access to information, public participation, and justice in environmental matters in Latin America and the Caribbean, or ESCAZU agreement. The Bahamas is the 9th CARICOM member state to become a party to the treaty and the 18th in the region. The ESCAZU agreement, adopted on March 4, 2018 and in force since 2022 or 2021, April 22nd, aims to ensure the right to a healthy environment and to sustainable development through access to information, public participation, and access to justice. It is also the first in the world to include specific provisions to protect human rights defenders in environmental matters. Internationally, NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte has says he will propose that members increase their overall military spending target to 5% of gross domestic product, or GDP, at the pact's next summit, as there's broad support. Rutte said most U.S. allies at NATO endorse President Donald Trump's demands that they invest 5% of GDP on their defense needs and are ready to ramp up security spending even more. European allies and Canada have already been investing heavily in their armed forces as well as on weapons and ammunition since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports Package for today, Thursday, June 5th. First, we go to Joseph Fadul for the latest in sports.
Well, thank you very much, Hassan Robinson. Of course, news just coming into DBS Radio. The secondary schools under 14 netball championships of the finals will take place tomorrow, Friday. We have this bit of information coming from Sports Officer Kernia James.
The sports division will draw its curtains to the 2025 secondary schools under 14 netball championship on Friday, the 6th of June at the forecourts of the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. After a few weeks of competition, The top 2 teams have advanced to the final round, and those which were knocked out from the semi-final round will play a third place match. This sports division had taken a decision to run this year's competition as a full championship, though in 2024 the under 14 netball competition did not take place, but we have decided to run a championship compared to the festival formats in the previous years, and that provided the young ladies with an opportunity to play more netball. So on Friday, the top teams will feature, and in this year's competition we saw a participation of 7 teams from 6 schools around the island, and the top 4 teams will play on Friday. Now the third place match will start at 3 p.m. and that match will take place between the Northeast Comprehensive B and the Portsmouth Secondary School. And at 4 p.m. the grand final will feature the Northeast Comprehensive A and the Castle Bruce Secondary School. So I would like to send out an invitation to all sports enthusiasts, all netball supporters, to come out to support the young ladies as they put on their best foot forward, to put on their best performance, and to come support netball.
Our thanks to Kernia James, sports officer, for that report. So once again, news coming in. The secondary schools under 14 netball finals taking place tomorrow. Hassan Robinson, it's back to you with more sports.
All right, a special thanks to Joseph Hilleboy Fudu for that sports package or sports update as well. And West Indies T20 international captain Shai Hope is backing his team to put their best foot forward for the T20 international series against England beginning tomorrow. West Indies and England will face off in 3 T20 international matches from June 6th to the 10th. The series will be the first for newly appointed T20 captain Shai Hope and will see the return of Jason Holder, who last represented the Caribbean team in the shortest format in February 2024. Andre Russell also makes a return to the squad after sustaining an injury.
I would just say we just need to adapt a bit quicker, assess the conditions, and obviously play particular situation a little bit better. But it's a different squad now. We have to put that ODI series behind us, take the learnings from it for sure. And then look ahead. We've got a new captain, some experienced players coming back into the T20 side. So there's a lot to look forward to. Yes, take the learnings from the ODI series, but focus now is on the T20. We're going to have our chats, but a lot more in-depth chats over the next couple of hours before the game starts. And find ways to formulate plans against all the battles. And it's important for us now to know that England is one of those teams who are always going to be coming at us, and how we're going to stop them is the biggest question. So the conversation is going to be ongoing. It's not something that started last week or a month ago. It's been going for a long time. And yeah, it's just make sure we're on top of whatever they throw at us and ensure we're ready for the challenge. I'm sure they can see the progress that we've made as an ODI side in the last couple of months. We've certainly bridged the gap, especially in terms of the rankings. We've had a lot more success recently. So just one series, that doesn't make us a bad team. It's just how it goes. We're playing someone in their conditions who they're familiar with. But yeah, like I said, the ODI series is gone. We can't put too much stress and focus on that. We've got to look ahead, which is the T20 stuff now. And yeah, we're going to turn things around. They beat us in the ODI series, and the aim is to turn that around for this one.
Hope also spoke of the absence of Nicholas Poran, who asked to be rested following an extended stint in the Indian Premier League.
There's things that we can't necessarily change. Some guys, we understand the importance and asset that he is for this team, but there's certain things we can't control always. We just got to focus on here and now, not necessarily too much on Poran not being here. We get how big of a risk he can be because he's a very big, impactful player for any team he plays for. But too much focus can't be on what we can't control right now. We got to stick with the players that we have here and ensure that we're ready for the opposition. We know how big of a player he is, and it's great to have him around. But like I said before, we can't change or control things that we can't control. And he's not here right now. We got to look at the firepower we currently have and ensure that we're ready for whatever challenge he throws at us.
West Indies T20 international captain Shai Hope. The first ball tomorrow is 1:30 p.m. The West Indies T20 squad against England are Shea Hope as captain, Johnson Charles, Roston Chase, Matthew Ford, Shimron Hetmeyer, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King as vice-captain, Evan Lewis, Gudakesh Moti, Rovman Powell, Andre Russell, Sherfane Rutherford, and Romario Shepherd. Still in some more sport in action, the West Indies women's head coach Shane Dites says he's proud of the team despite going down to England women by 143 runs in the second one-day international match on Wednesday. The win saw England women sealing the series with a game to spare.
Yeah, and we talked about being in the contest and competing every ball. Obviously they're got more famous players have been around longer, more experienced, but we just got to try to go out and compete every ball, and fight fire with fire. And if you keep doing that day in, day out, you gain your confidence, and over time, we develop these players, and that's one way we're going to develop them. So yeah, very proud of the young girls today. As I said the other day, we had to take on the opposition a bit more. Don't let the bowlers settle into a rhythm. You have to put them under pressure, and then more mistakes will come. And I think all the batters sort of did that. Glasgow in particular come out, took them on. So that was really good from her. And and obviously Grimo at the top of the order did it as well. It was a great batting wicket, really fast outfield. So they did well, and that's how we're going to play all our games. Not take a backward step, go on the front foot, and so that we did that today. So that was pretty good.
That's also praised the stellar one-day international debut of Liliana Grimond. Grimond was the top scorer for the West Indies women with 53.
She keeps things really simple. We spoke about some game plans and all that, and we didn't go into too much detail because I don't want to confuse her too much. It was about, getting her in a really good position. If she got a width or short ball, take it on, and she did exactly what we talked about. So really, really happy for her. She hits the ball hard. She can hit boundaries, and like any bowler, if you hit for a few fours, you're under pressure, and that's what batting's all about, put the bowlers under pressure. So really happy for her. She had a great regional tournament in T20 and 50 over, so up-and-coming talent, and so really, really proud of her. She'll back it up again next game. But as I said to her, the good players like, their openers, they get a 50, they get big hundreds, and she'll learn that skill over time, no doubt. Yeah, that's the confidence you need to go through the scenarios of being out here in the middle against the best players in the world and feeling that you belong, and she's definitely proved that she does belong. So now it's about to keep the work ethic up and improving on different areas of her game over time. And she's going to have a really long, good, successful career ahead of her if she does all the right things.
West Indies women's head coach Shane Dites. Still in some women's cricket, as Hayley Matthews is in doubt for the third and final match of the West Indies tour of England with a shoulder injury, which kept her out of the second one-day international. Matthews says a specialist in London on Thursday today saw the left shoulder problem, which she aggravated during the fall in the field during the first ODI last Friday. England could sweep the entire tour with a win on Saturday's third and final ODI after winning the first by 108 runs and securing the T20's series 3-0. Matthews was the player of the series for the T20 internationals despite her side not winning a game. She was the leading run scorer overall with 177, including an unbeaten century in the series opener. In some football action, Odell Laville got a brace as Dominica cruised to an emphatic win over the British Virgin Islands to pick up their first points in the CONCACAF qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Laville got 2 goals, and Troy Jules also got on the score sheet as Dominica took the match 3-0. The win was a perfect send-off for national captain Glenton Prince, who was playing his final match on home soil. Prince has announced that he will retire after the World Cup qualifiers. He was given a guard of honor and showered with gifts from the Dominica Football Association at the end of the match. Prince says he was overwhelmed with the presentations.
Yeah, all I can say is thank you, Gabby. I am so thankful and so appreciative of the national team, the DFA, Dominica on a whole, Dominicans on a whole, I should say. Today it was very emotional. Of course, we wanted a clean sheet and we wanted to win. And as the game progressed, I could see that, of course, there were chances back and forth. And I just try to remain focused. I will admit though that I was a little nervous for the first time in like forever. Knowing that it's the last game and I want to do so well, I want to keep a clean sheet, I want to help Dominica. But in the end, it turned out well. The guys played a fantastic game, phenomenal game, winning 3-0. I could not ask for a better send-off.
All right, Glenson, just your overall thoughts on the game, though, 3-0, like you said, and the way that we attacked. I mean, just your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, we controlled the pace of the game. That was the most important thing, controlling the pace. So we sped it up when we had to speed it up. We slowed it down. And, we used our strength. We used our strength, the speed that we had, the change of play. We did that exceptionally well today. We had some great combinations. But the most important thing, we dominated possession by keeping control of the game. And because we were able to do that, we got that victory, and I'm really, really happy for that.
All right, Glenson, and what can we take from this game with one more to go against the Dominican Republic?
Yeah, of course, it will build our confidence. We know mathematically we can't qualify for the World Cup, but we are putting our best foot forward. The guys played everything today, and I know they will do the same thing come the 10th of this month. And so I'm really confident that we can go out and take the game to the Dominican Republic, because it is a difficult game. All due respect to BVI, they have players, Dominican Republic have players who play at a higher level, and so they will pose a different challenge for us. But it is important that we remain focused and we enjoy this moment, because after we have one more game for the year, which is against Dominican Republic, and so we have to savor this moment. I'm for sure savoring this, because what a way to go out on a win and a clean sheet.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
Now, your community bulletin board.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We head straight into the general announcements. It is the 5th day of June 2025. We begin with this announcement from Dowasco. Dowasco informs customers in Salibia. So once again, Dowasco informs customers in Salibia, Antrizal, Atkinson, Bataka, Crayfish River, Sensi and Maho River that their water supply will be interrupted on Friday the 6th of June between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. for the purpose of carrying out system maintenance. The Wasco regrets any inconvenience which may be caused and thanks customers for their cooperation and understanding. Another announcement from Dowasco. Dowasco informs customers in Mayro, London Road and Cuba Road that their water supply will be interrupted from 8 p.m. tonight, Thursday 5th June. So once again, 8 p.m. tonight, Thursday 5th June to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, Friday 6th June for the purpose of carrying out system maintenance. And that's Mayro, London Road and Cuba Road. Dowasco sincerely apologizes for this interruption and regrets any inconvenience that may arise as a result. Dowasco thanks its customers and the